All right, this is my sound check. Hopefully you can hear me. If you can't, then I'll try to do our whole thing with hand signals. That's my guess. Uh, so, all right, loud and clear. Thank you, Ruth. And hello to Aimless, Saban, Ruth. Hey, Paul. And Olivia. Cool, Maureen. Let's see. All right. So yeah, as promised, for those that celebrate, Merry Christmas Eve. Um, and if you don't celebrate, what a disruptive time. So apologies. um, so, um, hey, Gabrielle. So, yeah, this is more than maybe, which or at least the tagline this is going under for at the moment. If you don't know who I am, my name is Andrew. I'm a certified mindfulness meditation coach. I am a sometimes guest host for the Do Nothing Project, and I used to be the moderator for the Do Nothing Project when it was hosted on YouTube. So, I don't know how to share this with y'all yet. I should actually, let's see. Maybe it's so y'all will know Shinzen Young as so Shinzen the overall well, I guess the easiest way for me to do this. So Shinzen created Unified Mindfulness, which is one of the training programs that I have a certification in, and he has at I think 80, I think he's 82 or 83. He is retiring from meditation teaching after more than 50 years of teaching meditation. And the Unified Mindfulness folks are hosting a farewell for Shinzen, um, and a farewell Dharma talk for him. And I don't think he's going to stop altogether, but it sort of is a celebration of his announcement. He's gonna step back, and that's on Monday. So if you're interested in attending that, which I believe is free, email me at the email address that I just posted in chat. Thank you everyone for the likes. If you get a chance, yeah, so it is Monday, right? Paul is right. It is. So Shinzen's Shinzen Young sort of farewell. So it's Monday, which I think is interesting because that conflicts with CEC. He was so involved with CEC, so it's too bad it's not Tuesday, to be really honest. But yeah, so I wanted to mention that at the top just because I tend to do guidance that's in the techniques of the UM family and everybody. So yeah, so that's one thing. And then again, I don't have any direct connection with Dan. I've not met Dan Harris, but sometime maybe I will. But there was an announcement this week that he's launching or has launched an app called 10%. They can't call it 10% happier yet, but called 10%. And there's going to be a 7-day meditation challenge that I believe is going to be for free. So I think danbharris.com is where you would get more information about that. Oh, interesting. The app is great. That's great to hear, Gabrielle, because I think it's really interesting. Not that we need to sidebar about this, but we'll meditate in a second. Sorry, folks. But it's interesting because the whole split was, I'm pretty sure that's Celsius, Saban. So what would that be? Yeah, Celsius. So the split for Dan from the 10% Happier app, which spawned off Happier, gives Dan a chance to use the whole time that he's been doing the podcast and talking meditation and everything else, and redo the app so that it is more community supportive and community oriented. So So the app is great so far. Okay, so that's two folks. Okay, thanks, Olivia. But yeah, I wanted to mention it just because it sounds, some of the things that I've heard make it sound like it is the community sort of support. Oh, danharris.com. That didn't work. Okay, hold on a second. Sorry, Amos. I wonder if it doesn't. Maybe it's Dan Harris. Just danharris.com. Yeah, it's danharris.com. Sorry, Dan B. Harris was his Twitter handle. I know Twitter doesn't exist anymore. I still haven't adjusted to that. And then yeah. So anyway, I'm that's my Dan has been kind enough to make available the 10% Happier app back when it was called 10% Happier to myself and Lily and Lynn as a part of our association with Jeff. And so I really appreciate that they've made the app available to us. So it was it gave me a chance to participate in a lot of meditation challenges. So I've been interested in that. So, and then the last plug I'll do is I can't remember his last name, but it's Juryu. There's a episode with Juryu, Juryu Reichman Baylor, I think is his name. He's the abbot of the San Francisco Zen Center, and so I really enjoyed that podcast. So, and then if you don't get the newsletter, I'll just post the email again. Send me the email. I realized that I had listened to some really amazing portraits of strong female women in the last year, and so I bundled together a bunch of those around just that. And so that was in Tuesday's email that I had sent out. If you're interested about that, send me an email and I'll just forward you whatever. And you didn't get it, I'll forward you Tuesdays. All right, that's all the stuff. Yeah, and it was cool. Saban and I both had been interested in Bonnie Sue's, I think that's how you say her family name. Bonnie Sue's Why We Swim. So if you're looking for a cost-free way to look at that, Bonnie Sue was a guest on Rich Roll podcast. So just search for Rich Roll Bonnie Sue, and you can check that out. She's a fantastic author. All right. So what we're probably gonna do today. This is I say probably because I hadn't really fully decided. What we're probably gonna do today is we're gonna do a little bit of, so I don't think I'm qualified to do Tonglen, but that's referred to as giving and receiving. This idea that you take in the badness or burdens from someone else, transform it and give it back to somebody. So anyway, I'll just put that as a seed. That's a thing. But what we're going to do is loving kindness. So that's something I am qualified to give some guidance around. So we'll do a little bit of that. I like to do loving kindness, especially on holidays. So that's what we'll do. And then so what we're going to do is we're just going to do a little bit of concentration practice to start. And that's mainly just to cultivate more concentration and sensory clarity. And then we'll shift into the loving kindness or friendliness practice. And then we'll finish with 5 minutes of our standard do nothing. So that's can think of it as cross training if you want, or we could think of it as like a meditation circuit. I kind of like that a little bit better than the other, but yeah. So that's the piece there that I'm looking at, and then if you're interested, Tonglen is the I think one form or one translation of it is giving and receiving. Or maybe it's also sending and receiving. Anyway, Pema Chodron is probably the one that you would see most of that. So most associated with that. But anyway, I actually know I actually have heard Zen teachers talk about how they don't, or Zen and Vajrayana teachers say they don't like to teach Tonglen to folks in the West. But I think it's interesting. I find it is a thing that I can do during the holidays when I don't feel like I can do anything else to help people. So that's my plug. But we're gonna do friendliness. I don't have a bell other than I'm gonna steal the bell sound from Insight Timer. And so I'll play the Insight Timer and we'll have 25 minutes. I've talked longer than I planned, but thank you for your patience. Um, so that's our plan. Um, Thank you for your time. Thank you for taking a little bit of time away from whatever you're doing today. All right. All right. Not quite as sonorous as the usual bell. We'll make do. All right. So we'll start as we always do with establishing our posture. And really it's kind of a way for us to to settle into our to settle into this meditation sit really. So you could be standing or lying down or even walking. I trust that you will be able to adjust the meditation instruction for your scenario. But I'll focus on the seated posture, either in a chair or on a cushion, maybe a bench. So upright without being uptight is what we're really aiming for. So the posture, the posture is the torso is upright, natural curvature of the spine, shoulders over the hips, feet arranged in a way that will be more likely that you won't shift around too much. So I tend to kind of move my feet a little bit until I get things to a comfortable level. And then just getting a sample of what it's like right now. So what are you bringing with into the sit? And then finally a few deliberate breaths. Slow and low is the tempo we're going for. Breathing in through the nose allows us to slow our breath down, sinking low into the belly. And as our inhale turns around and becomes our exhale, seeing if we can extend or accentuate it. Now, it's usually not wise to have any expectations, but sometimes just a few deliberate breaths can really sort of settle the body. And the settling of the body can help lead to the settling of the mind sometimes. I think there's a saying where the body goes, the mind follows. But and so, as promised, we're gonna begin with a bit of a concentration or focused concentration practice. So we're going to pick a home base and we're going to stay with that home base for a period of time. So that could be the breath or the body, could be sounds, but sounds may be too variable. So, but I trust that if you want to work with sounds, then you'll be able to make that work. So we can structure it as a noting practice, working with our home base. So if it's the breath, picking a place where you feel the breath most prominently, soaking your attention in, really noticing the concentration. And then let's just try our label being home. So again, we're working with the home base. Just shorten it to home. And the label is always optional. If the breath is problematic for you, then the stableness of the body in the seated posture, you can have the whole body focus as your focus, or you could choose the pressure points where the body is supported by your chair or your cushion. Same structure, noticing, soaking our attention in, optionally labeling home. And then kindly noting or kindly offering that you may have your focus pulled away or drawn away by something else, bringing the attention back and just being okay with bringing the attention back over and over. There's sort of a grandmotherly acceptance that there's sort of no problem. The mind gets pulled away, no problem. Bring the mind back, start back over. And so we'll shift into our friendliness practice. And just to begin, seeing if we can begin with ourselves and offer ourselves appreciation for taking time out of everything that's going on and practicing. So just offering an acknowledgement, offering it to ourselves, and just noticing if that feels weird or if you kind of feel like, ugh, I don't want to do that. And then thinking about offering kindness and appreciation to yourself for making time, someone else came to mind immediately. And let's pick them as our focus for offering well wishes and loving kindness. May you find strength. May you be safe. May you know peace. I like to bring a mental image, try to enliven that image, and then offer the phrases. So much of making it through the end of the year is finding strength. So I like to start with that as one of the phrases. May you find strength. May you be safe. May you know peace. For me, the grandest of all holiday wishes is really peace on earth. So, however you want to work that in, or if you want to tailor the phrases, please do. We can make the phrases faster or slower. So, strength, safety, peace. You could shorten to one word if you like that better. I sort of delight in the formalism. May you find strength. May you feel safe. May you know peace. And then switching, thinking of someone else. Maybe someone who has been rushing around and trying to make it an amazing holiday for everyone else in their family. Seeing if you can bring, again, an enlivened image of them. May you find strength. May you feel safe. May you know peace. Maybe even trying to find a way to acknowledge the appreciation for all they do. I see all you do. I appreciate what you do for you and your family. Again, offering the phrases, refreshing or enlivening the image as needed. May you find strength. May you feel safe. May you know peace. May you find strength. May you feel safe. Or maybe just may you be safe. May you know peace. And then again, one word: strength, safety, peace. And seeing if you can remember someone you don't know their name, but they helped you in your day. I picked up our holiday dinner at the grocery store, and it was a very kind woman who helped me get that taken care of. May you find strength. May you know peace. May you live with ease. May you find strength. May you be safe. May you know peace. You may have your own favorites. Feel free to work them in. Maybe even picking somebody that you saw at random. I saw a man who let someone cut in front of him in line for lotto tickets. There's a very large grand prize for tonight. And as I walked by, I told him, I hope he wins. So just finding a random person, may you find strength. May you be safe. May you know peace. May you live with ease. And then expanding beyond just a single person, just expanding to wherever you are geographically, your town or city, neighborhood. May you be filled with spirit and delight. May you live with ease. May you treasure this time together. Or may your connections be rich and fruitful. Expanding beyond your sort of town or neighborhood, maybe to the city or the province, the state. May you feel delight. May you be captured by holiday spirit. May you live with ease. May you see past your differences. May you connect with what you have in common. And then finally, connecting to everyone's everyone that's watching this right now, everyone that's watching the recording of this, connecting from the small corner of Arizona that I'm in at the moment to the place you are in, the place that everyone else is in. May we all feel connected. May we see past our differences. May we know peace. May we live with ease. All right, you're welcome to continue with your offering of your loving kindness phrases, but at this point, you are invited to do nothing. You can put our technique off to the side with care and just coast. Our sit has ended. I'll invite the bell. All right. That was 25 minutes. Thank you, everyone, for taking time away. Thank you for your practice. May any merit generated from our time together go to benefit all beings. Uh, Thanks, everyone, for the likes. So, if you don't get the newsletter, um, that was excellent to hear. Happy holidays, everyone. Appreciate that, Moira. Um, so next week's sit will be earlier. It'll probably be at I think it's going to be at 6 Eastern, 5 Central, 4 Mountain, and 3 Pacific. So, but I'll have the link for it'll be up a little bit early. So it'll be up on Friday, and then I'll have the reminder email scheduled so it'll be a little earlier in the day on New Year's Eve day. So I am working on a very skeleton crew for the off ice officials that night. For the I don't even know who we're playing. So the Tucson Roadrunners are playing. Gosh, I don't know. Anyway, I'll know by the time I send it out. So, but yeah, and thank you, Phased Star Child. I haven't seen that name before. Welcome. Um, yeah, that's why it's early on New Year's Eve. Also, in case folks are off doing other New Year's Eve-ish plans, I normally would be I n- I normally would be not out and about on New Year's Eve these days. There was a time in my life when I did a lot of that, but that time is no longer. So, but yeah, so that's why we're moving it up, just because there's a 6 o'clock puck drop on Mountain Time for Wednesday next week. So, but thank you for your patience. Thanks for the folks with moving that around and everything. And then a big hello to I have a contingent of folks that are watching in India, and I have a contingent of folks that are watching in Australia. So hello, and thank you for tuning in. Awesome. All right. Well, I will. You're super welcome, and I will bid you adieu. It's almost 5 minutes to the top of the hour. We're a little over, but happy holidays. Merry Christmas.